Hello guys, welcome to Daily UPSC Learning. I hope you are liking these history series as well as the other series as well. If you have some suggestions, please write it on the comment section below. So, without any further delay, let us start with the third part of British economic policy. This economic policy, what we are studying right now, we will be studying in the context of infrastructure. Infrastructure, that is railways, roadways, telegraph, as well as posts. So I have compiled everything and concised it into just minimum 4 to 5 points in each sector. If any question comes regarding infrastructure or economic transformation of India, we should be able to write about the infrastructure development as well. So let us start with the railways first. Railways, as we have already known that the factors that were responsible for the railways in the previous two videos as well as the polity series were Adam Smith, that is the factors of free hand economy or free market capitalism. Free market capitalism, what does it say? It said that any Englishman can come in India and they can form or they can trade with India. So those people were also known as free traders. They came in India and they also invested in the railway capital, that is the railway infrastructure. So this was the first factor which was responsible for the development of railways in India. The second factor was the commerce and capital. As India was a new market as well as the colony for British goods, British companies came and invested in India with respect to the trade and commerce aspect. So, the third aspect was the defense. British Army was invested into India from essentially from 1858 Act because of the assumption of crown. So that is why the defense sector and the development of defense sector was related to railways. क्योंकि they for example 1857 revolt में they used to travel, or for any other things they used to focus on the communication aspect as well as the traveling aspect. So that was an important part of the defense strategy of British India. Now, British iron and steel factories were also dependent upon the railways because the raw material as well as the finished products used to be transported till ports as well as the frontier areas so that the communication should be easier. So that is why this fourth factor is British iron and steel industry. And the final important thing is administration. That is the core of everything. Now, what was the evolution of railways? The evolution of railways, remember one thing, whenever a question on infrastructure, that is road, railways, telegraph as well as posts, that will come, don't forget Lord Dalhousie. Lord Dalhousie is the most important person regarding the economic transformation of India with respect to infrastructure. Each and every part, that is these four things, were transformed, and essentially we can say that Lord Dalhousie was the founder of the infrastructural development of India. How? Let us see one by one. With respect to railways, he was the first person who gave the railway minute. Like Macaulay's minute था education के related, वैसे ही railway minute था with respect to future development policies of the railways. Then, after that, because of this railway minute, the first railway line was developed due to Bombay and Thane, from Bombay and Thane. हम लोग ये हमेशा पढ़ते हैं कि बॉम्बे टू ठाणे रेलवे लाइन फर्स्ट रेलवे लाइन बनी थी, लेकिन who made it, what was the factors responsible for it, we never learn, and this comes in mains or as well as they can ask in interview also. So these minute things can be helpful in understanding the conceptual basis of the railway development in India. Then ये दो चीजें, if you want to remember, you can remember, otherwise you can forget, because the second railway line was from Calcutta to Raniganj Kol, and the third railway line was from Madras and till Arakkonam. It is in southern part of India only. Now, Lord Dalhousie, what did he do? He also introduced the guarantee system. Guarantee system, what is it? I'll tell you. Guarantee, as the name goes, कि British companies who are investing in British railways, they will be guaranteed 5% return of interest on the investment. So that is why they used to get the return on interest, and that is why they used to invest a lot in the British capital. So this development was done in 3 phases. Now remember this thing. This was after post Dalhousie. ठीक है? क्योंकि Dalhousie तो 1856 तक ही था, I think. ठीक है? तो Dalhousie, post Dalhousie phases. Now, what were these phases? The first phase was till 1869. What did they do? They invested in private capital. Remember this thing, private capital, state enterprise, and both mixed. So that is why till 1869, we were focusing on private capital. The phase was investment from the private capital. Then 1869 to 1880, state enterprise. And then from 1880, both private as well as public capital. So this is the phases of the development of railways post Dalhousie. Now the British railways, they were aligned with colonial interests. How? The first thing is that they were aligned with the market interest of the British. India was a market. What did they do? They joined the industrial capitals, or like, for example, Surat, as well as Bombay Thane, as well as Raniganj coal mines, with the ports. ठीक है? Why? Because of the export. Indians को export करना था, मतलब British को export करना था through Indian. That is why they connected the port with the core areas, and that is why interior जो part थे ना India के, वो अभी भी they are not as developed as the coastal areas. Like for example, take an example, Bombay, Surat, Ahmedabad, as well as Chennai, Visakhapatnam. These all areas which are near to the coast or on the coast, they have been developed, and that is why this is the main reason for lopsided development of infrastructure even today. So, then this was also important for frontier army. Like for example, frontier areas में army का deployment होता था. So for those deployment, British railways was also important. And after, the last thing is that coal. Coal was also imported from Britain as industrial revolution was at its peak during this time, and it had taken a firm foundation in Britain. So coal imports were done from Britain. Now let us see about the roads. Roadways was also developed by, as I've already told, Dalhousie was everything. What did he do? He created a separate public work department. See, public welfare department or public work department. He created a separate public work department for the development of canals and roads. So, canals, that is the Upper Ganga Canal, was formed in 1854 during Dalhousie. So, Dalhousie was the founder of the road infrastructure in India, you can say that. And he was also the founder of engineering services, that is, he created or he laid firm foundations for engineering services, which is also present today. Now, before roadways, who was handled by Dalhousie, this was handled by military board. ये कोई नहीं पूछेगा आपसे, बस remember this thing कि military board पहले करता था, फिर Dalhousie जब आया, तब military board का खात्मा हुआ, and Dalhousie took everything under his leadership. Now, communication networks. This is the third major part after roads and railways. The communication networks include two things, that is telegraph as well as postal services. Telegraph and postal services both were important for communication between the British administration, or between the British administration and the princess, or between the British administration and the crown, which was present in the United Kingdom. But the Dalhousie, he modernized the telegraph system. Remember this thing, Dalhousie created public work department in roadways, but Dalhousie modernized the telegraph system. That means telegraph system was already present before Dalhousie. Who was the most important person before Dalhousie? Shaughnessy. So remember this thing. Nobody will ask, but still, just for your information, I've provided this. Remember this thing, that Dalhousie did not create the telegraph system. He modernized the telegraph system. This is an important part that you should remember, and that is why I've written his name. That is, what did he do earlier? Like before Dalhousie, Bombay, Madras, Calcutta, Peshawar, these four provinces were already connected by this person, Shaughnessy. And this is an important thing. Then after that, Dalhousie, what did he do? Almost 4 miles lines उन्होंने बना दिए थे Dalhousie ने, and this also helped in the 1857 revolt. So the 1857 revolt, that was happened and British won it because of the strong communication lines. So that is where Dalhousie played an important part in the winning of revolt of 1857 or the suppression of revolt of 1857 by the British. Now after communication network, in the communication network, the second part is the postal services. Now, as I've already told, that Dalhousie was instrumental in modernization of the postal services. What did he do? He enacted an act. First act, that was the new Post Office Act. It was not the first act, but it was a new act. That is Post Office Act of 1854. And the postage stamps were also for the first time introduced during Dalhousie. This is a PT pointer. Whatever I have written in the red or whatever I have tick marked in the red, that is important for prelims perspective. And this whole mind map, that is the single page approach, is important with respect to mains as well as interview, as well as prelims. But right now, as we are focusing on prelims, we should just remember a little bit about the mains perspective, but we should learn or we should by heart the red things about this mind map, and we should learn it by heart because whatever mind map I have made, it is from the previous year's question papers only, and after studying previous 20 years question papers of prelims as well as mains. So if you like this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe to Daily UPSC Learning, and also provide suggestions if you want us to make some other series as well as if you have some suggestions. Thank you guys. Jai Hind.